I do not have an audience for this speech, so my audience will be students at Richland taking speech 1311. In the age of lavish technology, many feel their purpose of life is to obtain as much as they can. I'm going to talk about the devastating effects of consumerism on the mind and family orientation and on health. For years, I have been fascinated with this topic, and over the last few weeks, I, Shybria Wilson Scott, have been researching just that. First, I'll share with you how consumerism impacts the world. Secondly, I'll tell you how consumerism impacts our lives. And lastly, how it'll impact our tomorrow. But nothing's wrong with having nice things, not to mention it's really good for our economy. Consumerism and the economy. The United States holds the largest consumer market in the world. According to Gal Group, an established company of Cengage who have been providing educational literature to teach hundreds of thousands of higher education students in the United States, says the total amount Americans spend each year amounts to nearly 2/3 of the $14 trillion GDP 2015. As of 2017, the United States held the third highest GDP in the world, according to the CIA. So, consumerism is a national security issue. The measure of health in the growth of an economy is such a critical component in our nation's security that the same article mentions the remarks of late President George W. Bush after the attack on 9/11 when he said, "The only way for Americans to recover is for them to spend more money." The level of consumerism will be the determining factor of how strong any country's economy will be. 9/11 fighter jets to highways and government buildings seem way beyond the average person like me, when in reality, that's who it starts with. Consumerism and the consumeristic mindset. The passage stated above also says, it is often argued that assigning too much value to material possessions can lead to harmful psychological and social consequences. Another article published by the same Gal Group from This Magazine, who covers politics, international affairs, and education, labor, and culture, illustrates how we unintentionally blend our personal emotional issues that arise with music, sport reports, ads, billboards, and other things to create unsettling thoughts and an unhappy conscience. So, consumerism does impact our lives, and our emotional lives and our physical lives. Through definition, consumerism has led Americans into spending more money through borrowing loans and using credit while saving less, according to an abstract on consumerism by the National Journal published by the same Gal Group. Many today have referred to the imbalance as death of despair, where working Americans only live to try to catch up on debt and bills from their consumeristic patterns, leaving many depressed and some to commit suicide. The impact on society. The effects of consumerism is very devastating. Besides the fact that the U.S. only holds 5% of the total population in the world, we account for 30% of the global consumption and 30% of the waste, including greenhouse gases that, according to the conscious opinion of the scientific community, results in climate change. Since these products are only manufactured with the goal of selling as fast as possible for the biggest amount of profit, they often hold little to no quality, and they often don't last long, adding to the waste that is trapped here on the earth. This has also damaged people's mindsets. With so much to have, many constantly fall into depression from not being able to afford all these new things all the time, and they let it define who they are. The efforts used to market these products have infiltrated the youth's mind and has distorted a lot of people's reality. The abstract from the National Journal states the consumeristic culture of American public, which is the foundation of American economy, is unsustainable and weak. Our earth is changing rapidly, and the way we treat workers overseas to the population of our air won't last long either. We will have to find new ways to stimulate the economy, and with the habit of consumerism and without the habit of a continued constant savings plan, we will not be ready. So consumerism is a huge national security issue. Firstly, I told you how consumerism impacts the world. Secondly, how consumerism impacts our everyday lives for the average person like me. And lastly, how it will affect our tomorrow. Don't be a good American. Be a good person and break free from the deception of consumerism and save your money. Thank you.